If you opened up an MLB box score and saw this line for a pitcher, you'd probably think it was pretty good. Would you believe that that same pitcher wouldn't even get out of the second inning in his next start after allowing 6 runs? It's hard to fathom, but that pitcher certainly exists, and his name is Erick Fedde. Erick Fedde is one of the more inconsistent pitchers I've ever seen. There have been so many instances where he has gone out and performed very well in one start, only to completely blow up in the next. He hasn't been able to establish himself as a quality starter for long stretches of time, whether it's game to game or month to month. Erick Fedde's April was a complete disaster. He only managed to get through 18 innings in 4 starts, averaging less than 5 innings per outing. He had an ERA of 6 during that span. May was basically the complete opposite. In fact, going into his final start of the month, he had an ERA of 1.99 and was looking like he may have found form after his best start of his career against the Dodgers. Unfortunately, his next start was a 1-inning affair that saw the Mets take him behind the woodshed. Still, it seemed like he was better in May, right?
Nope.
None of Erick Fedde's underlying stats or splits really make any sense. Like, for example, his home and away splits. At home, Fedde has a 3.44 FIP against right-handed hitters, but a 5.44 FIP against left-handed hitters. On the road, it's almost the exact opposite. In April, Fedde had an ERA of 6, but a relatively low hard hit percentage and fly ball rate, giving him an xFIP of 3.64, which is pretty good. But despite a low fly ball percentage, he allowed an 18.8 home run per fly ball rate with dead balls in April. Yeesh. But then May is just a complete reversal of these numbers. His fly ball rate increased significantly, but his home run per fly ball rate dropped, resulting in an xFIP of 4.74, but a lack of actual runs scored via the homer. That normally makes sense for a strikeout pitcher who pitches up in the zone and gets more fly balls than ground balls. Meanwhile, Erick Fedde's K per 9 dropped from a 9.35 in April to a 7.14 in May, and he still got more ground balls than fly balls. His hard hit percentage also increased to 32.6%. So you have a ground ball pitcher allowing a high fly ball rate and a high hard hit rate when they can't get the swing and miss. That's going to be a recipe for disaster. And yet his surface numbers were pretty good. His ERA improved from a 6 in April to a 3.72 in May. So was he just really lucky? Yeah. This kind of inconsistency within the numbers makes Fedde hard to deal with. The thing is, he's not untalented. He's shown the ability to pitch a gem here or there where he just dominates a lineup with elite stuff, but he's been unable to sustain that success over long periods of time. He doesn't seem to have a particular strength to build around. His best pitch is his cutter, and it's a solid pitch, but it doesn't get much swing and miss. His sinker has movement, but he has no idea where it's going most of the time, making him unable to tunnel it off his cutter and his curveball, which in itself is a pretty ineffective pitch in most outings. He's not really an innings eater. Although he's shown the ability to get into the 6th and 7th inning, he hasn't done so with regularity. He's never really been able to establish the inner half to right-handed batters, so he can't be a matchup guy. And none of his underlying statistics suggest room for improvement, so he's essentially untradeable by himself. But he's also nowhere near bad enough to move him to the bullpen or drop him altogether, especially on a struggling Nationals team. He'll probably be in this rotation until his contract expires. So, who is Erick Fedde as a pitcher? Is he an effective starter that can eat innings and keep his team in games? Or is he a replacement level pitcher whose days in the majors are numbered? The answer is both, because that's the duality of Fedde.